Welcome back, friends. For those who have attended the morning session, and welcome to those guys who are starting with this session. Again, your host Rohit Devangan presenting to you TSR Strength Index, which will help you to analyze strength of the stocks with the area of interest in your mind. The area of interest can be fundamentals, can be growth, value, or it can be technical, bullish, bearish on different time frame. Right. So here we go. TSR Strength Index. What it gives you is a holistic view of the stock. It helps you to make a decision making. For example, if you're looking at value stocks, and if technicals looks pretty bad, then you perhaps want to wait. If the technical goes good along with value, that could be a good start. Time saving, it helps you to save a lot of time, because generally what happens is you look at various parameters, could go into hundreds of parameters before you think that this could be a potential buy or sell or even stock in consideration. So it will help you to save a lot of time if this is used as one of the first filters. Right? It's very easy to understand. One of the key objective is, like, as the complexity of this of a particular tool increases, right? Then the biggest challenge is to how to keep that extremely simple. So what we try to do is we try to just create one single point using and hiding all the complexities behind. So that doesn't mean that you can't go to complexities. You are welcome to go into your own research, but that's the objective of this indicator. It helps you to compare stocks vis-a-vis another stock. It could be same category in terms of market cap, whether it's a mid cap, small cap, or it could be same industry, or it could be another thing, right? So it will help you to compare stock A versus stock B on a certain yardstick. About top stock research strength index, TSR strength index, right? It's a ready tool that helps you to analyze a stock strength of a choice of area where user is interested in. For example, if you're looking at bullish stocks, then you have an option. You can look for a daily stock. If you're looking like, or maybe positional for daily, or if you're looking really intraday, you may want to look at 15 minutes or 5-minute stick, right? If you are a value investor, you may want to look at value and perhaps stability, and that's a combination that you can do. Purpose, it gives you the strength of the stock, right? As we mentioned, that discussed, it gives you where that stock is vis-a-vis the universe of stock, or vis-a-vis certain other stock baskets or sector, right? Comparing with peers. The broad category of TSR strength index, one is technical and second is fundamental, right? We'll cover each of them in great level of details in a short while, right? Representation in top stock research. Now, how do we represent this thing, right? As I mentioned that it's very simple to look. How do we represent? Let's have a quick look at the parameter, what we mean here. Let's say we go into one of the stock, Manappuram, right? When we look at Manappuram, when we look at Manappuram, right? So this is how our stock strength index looks like. So as I mentioned, on a daily tick, Manappuram looks good. It is roughly around 71%, right? So anything which is above 66% could be considered as very good, right? Below 33 is considered to be bad. So bad is also an opportunity for technical analyst. Bad is an opportunity where you can short the stock, right? So a typical depiction is like a parameter like this, where you'll see that red signals that stay away, green signals that is a good place to be in, right? Whereas yellow signals that you'll have to wait for some more time before you can go for any kind of trading or decision making. Second, percentage in position. In certain places, as we have seen in some of the sessions, right, it tells you that where does it fit vis-a-vis universe of the stock. So it is more bullish than 85% of the stock. I mean, why not? It looks like pretty good, right? Pretty well move from some time, and then the volume is also pretty nice. Interpretation, we'll cover that. Stock rank, we've seen a bit, but we'll cover that a little in more details in coming slides. Stock specific index, you can have index category, tick, and okay. So what index category and tick is, right? Index category, as we discussed a while back, index category can be financial, can be technical. The broad category in financial, we have growth index, value index, profit index, stability index. In technical, we have daily, weekly, monthly, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So there are a lot of different ticks which are available. Right? So we'll cover them. Right? So how do you go tick by tick? So if you go here and look at technical strength, so it at EOD it is 85%. Not necessary that it will be same in other ticks, right? So let's see how it is on 15 minutes tick. Should be much better, I believe. Right? So it's not so good. It's 65%, right? So it is 86% more bullish, but overall strength is about 65%. On let's say 1 hour tick, on 1 hour tick it is 68%. So depending on the time period that you trade on, right, or you look at, you can choose different ticks, and at the same time you can look at the other indicators, which is like financial indicators, right? Financial indicators. So Manappuram does not look good in terms of growth. Value, it's pretty indecisive. Profitability is indecisive, and stability is indecisive. So if you are a technical trader, then it may look like a gloomy look. If you are on a value side, it may look a gloomy look. But if you are a technical, you'll see that it looks pretty good, right? When it comes to a technical, it is bullish. So not every time technical and fundamentals will go together. So depending on your trading style or analysis style, you may want to pick one or two. Right? So we covered what TSR strength index is, right? At a nutshell. Now, how do we derive it, right? I mean, there are lots and lots of questions which comes that, okay, this looks good, particularly more in terms of, as far as technical strength is concerned, it's there for at least 2 years plus. We have got excellent feedback about this, right? And a lot of people use this as first filter, right? Very mature, and also very well accepted by the larger market, right? How do we derive it? Of course, this is more of a generic thing, but what we use is a lot of company financials, technical data, dozens of industry standard parameter. Where if it is, let's say, if it is stability, will have debt related ratios or debt related field. If it is technical, will have momentum related and RSIs or MACDs, right? And then we have a lot of our own basically subsystems before we derive the strength index. We have a lot of subsystems, and which are more of a TSR specific. We are planning to release a lot of them in coming days, but it's still more like an internal tool calculation. So we use a lot of those derived fields, doing some back testing before we release it to larger audience. Okay. Then we use some machine learning, and we have a TSR algo engine. The TSR algo engine not only calculates the strength of the stock, but also vis-a-vis the universe, right? Universe of the stocks or this thing, right? So this is typically how we calculate it. Does it have a straightforward formula? No. Is it always the same? No. Every few days, based on our learning, we keep on upgrading and updating these things, right? So basically, what was coming, so it's basically fine tuning, right? Getting more towards the perfection. A lot of back testing we do, right? And depending on what really fits well, we use them. All right. So where do you find strength index? Equity page. We have seen that equity page a short while back, but let's, in the interest of everybody, let's go it again. In the equity page, we have two views. One is you can directly go into stock. In stock, we have two views, right? One is customized view, and second is a view which is common to all. So if you're looking at technical, go to technical, go to any tick of your choice, and then you'll have it. If you're looking at financials, right? In financials, you have over here, you go into any of the financial page, you will have that view. And if you want to customize it, you want to have it everything in one place, then what you can do is you can create a custom view wherein you can keep all the things of your interest in one single view. Okay? So once you have that everything in single view, then it saves a lot of time, right? You don't have to toggle back and forth for finding the information of your choice. Anybody who has missed the customization, we have had a session last week on customization. Hopefully the video for customization is ready, right? And we are likely to upload today on the customization. So don't worry too much about the customization. That video we were able to record it well, right? Okay, on equity page as a barometer, we have just seen that on a pre-screen, right? So pre-screen, where do you find, how do you, so one is getting the value of a stock, right, as an individual. Now 73 may look excellent, right? Over here, it may look excellent, but there's always a possibility that some other stocks are 75 or 78 or 80, 90, right? So the best is to find, not to be happy or satisfied with what you have, right? Always try to look for something better. So how do you find something better than this on this thing? We have a screener, pre-screen. Click on pre-screen, go to technical strength index, right? On technical strength index, look for strong bullish on the stock basket of your choice, let's say 500, right? And this is where you'll find the stocks which are most bullish on daily time frame, right? So Varun Beverage looks best today, right? Last week when we saw it was something else. I don't recall the stock name because they keep changing every day, right? When you look at this, just look at the chart. It's brilliantly moving up, right? And that's why our system captured it, right? And it looks like that it's likely to go ahead, likely to move up. Maybe a small retracement would be a good place to be in. Without recommending anything over here, just giving you a general concept of how things can be, right? So when there's a move, upward move, there's a slight downfall also, right? So higher high, higher lows, higher high, higher lows, mid higher high, higher low, higher high. So there's a likelihood of a small retracement, but nobody can guarantee that. Right? That's on pre-screen. So in the pre-screen, right, what you see is basically the stock which are strong bullish. Right? Of course, you have an option of mild bullish and strong bullish, all bullish. Right? Also, it tells you that where does it stand vis-a-vis universe. Right? So like Pidilite also looks pretty good here. Let's look at the chart. Very, very good chart. Right? Now, just looking at this chart and the other chart, right? The previous one looked better. Right? The previous one, from our calculation, previous one looked better. But just looking at the chart, perhaps you'll say that this looks better. So what we do is, based on these things, right? We have lots and lots of factors which we calculate, and we smoothen out things. We just don't depend on one or two parameters. We have lots and lots of factors, right? Which smoothen out things. So some of the things which appears visually may be little off when it comes to certain calculation in our algo engine, right? So very, very nice stocks, very, very strong bullish stocks, right? We don't have to even debate or even think that it's not bullish. It's like going out pretty well. Okay. So pre-screen we have seen custom screener. Now in the custom screener, right? Those who have not attended the previous session may be more useful to them. Some of you who have attended, maybe a sort of revision for you. Where do you find technical strength? So go to custom screener, DIY, go to strength. Right? This is where all the strengths are. So if you are looking for stock, maybe purely from ranking perspective, right? So you want to see that the stocks which are more bullish than 95% of the stocks on EOD, stock basket. Okay, stock basket is NSE 500. So you will see that these are the stocks which are more bullish than 95% of the stocks. So this is 95%, 97, 96, right? So sort this. You'll see that Varun again comes out here, right? Obviously the reason, and you'll see all these stocks. If we change it to a smaller limit, you'll find that Pidilite and ICICI Prudential looks pretty bullish. Right? So look at the chart. It itself will tell that it's very good. Right? It uses algo engine. Now, let's say you're looking at something else. For example, if you're looking at maybe price gainer with volume, right? Now, if none, okay. So we find few stocks. Now, along with this, if you want to look at the technical strength also here, right? So you have an option. Go and look at key TSR trend strength. Here is where you'll see that not only the price gain with volume, but also the technical strength. Right? It gives you some of the commentary also, right? SMA up, nice trending up, right? A lot of SMAs. Sometimes it is price rise with volume, right? Depending on some of the key things. Like here, bullish cap up at highs. with good volume, right? It's an excellent thing. Bullish cap up at high with good volume itself is an excellent thing. If you see, nothing beats these things. Right? So this is how you can, along with your screener results, you can see technical strength. You can see the growth. Okay, growth is not there. So it's not significant growth. So technically it's good. Growth-wise, it's not that great, right? Value also not too good. Profitability also there. Stability-wise, it's pretty bad, right? So depending on what you really look at, you will, trust me, you'll never get everything what you want in one single stock, right? Either it is expensive, or it is unstable, or it is like low value. One or the other things will not match, right? So look at the ones which you are more interested in. If you are not interested in the fundamentals, leave the fundamentals around, and you'll have only the technical strength out here, right? So this is where you'll see in the search results also. Now, can you customize the search results? Yes, right. The way we do Watchlist, same way you have an this thing. So let's quickly create a search results. Right? Go to other settings, go to custom result template. This is where you can create a template, right? So let's say if you want to create a template where you want you give it a name as post field, and you want to have my tech, right? For the sake of doing it, and you can have some of the technicals, ADX, MACD, and then you create a template, right? Now, when you go back to the results, you have multiple options. So what we did is we created a post result, right? My tech. So instead of those things, you can have your customized set of columns. So just a small dive, we deviated from the main topic, but I thought that this is also important for you to have a look at it. You can have a preset of columns. You can change the default set of columns, or you can have post set of columns here. Pre-screen results and post-screen results. This is where you'll get the columns in your results. Watch list. How do you see in the watch list? So go back in the watch list and then create this thing. Right? Technical strength. Then you want rank from the top, value index, and I'll just add something as stability index, right? Just for the sake of creating. So once the template is created, what you need to do is add some stocks, going with the lazy route. Right? So in one single view of the stock of your choice, right, you can get technical and all those other parameters. Quite a lot of parameters are there in the strength index. This is how you'll get that. Okay. Right. So what it gives: holistic view, a bird's eye view, right? And then you can always drill down to the information. For example, right? Generally, as I mentioned, right, when there are dozens of parameters, right, looking at one parameter may not give you very good results. It can be an outlier, right? So what we try to do is we try to smoothen out things, right? We try to smoothen out things. The example over here is Asian Paints. Let's see what it says for profitability index. Asian Paints on profitability, right? Let's have a look at next ratios, right? So purely from, if you see profitability ratios, right, there are few greens, few reds. If you're just looking at gross profit margin, right, I will try to avoid it. Or if you're just looking at this thing, maybe asset turnover, it may look very good. So what we try to do is we try to even out things, right? So where the profitability index is, it's a mix of everything, some red, some green, and some basically indecisive. Right? So if you look at the profitability index here, right, it's indecisive. Right? Rather than you get carried away with one parameter over here, right? One parameter, either this or this, next to each other. These two guys are next to each other, and very, very diverse results, right? So this is where having a view which is much more holistic. If you are very comfortable with just using asset turnover, feel free to use it, right? But if you want to see that, where does it fit vis-a-vis rest of the stuff. So that's where the profitability index or TSR strength index comes into play. Right? A typical barometer, green zone, right? The higher the better. Red zone, right? Avoid the lower ones. And the gray zone. Gray zone is where you don't have the clarity. Okay.